Breaking news, gold hit an all-time high, reaching $4,000 an ounce yesterday. And silver followed, hitting an all-time high today, reaching $50 an ounce. And I'm going to tell you why I think this means Bitcoin's hitting $250,000, and we're going to back this up not with speculation, but with data. And the data we're going to be using, we're going to start with this chart pattern right here. The entire store value narrative for Bitcoin will be decided in the next 18 months. This chart right here is Bitcoin priced in gold ounces. But before we get into the price prediction, let me back this up with data. So this chart pattern that we're looking at right here is an ascending triangle. There are three main types of trading triangles. There's ascending, descending, and symmetrical triangle. And an ascending triangle is a bullish formation. Now, there is criteria that the ascending triangle must form. The upper trend line must be horizontal, indicating nearly identical highs. I charted it myself, check. This will form a resistance level. Also, the lower trend line rising diagonally, indicating higher lows as the buyers patiently step up their bids. Also check. Also check. But let's get into the statistics. Let's get into the probabilities here. So the definition, last criteria, we need multiple touches, at least two highs and two lows to validate the formation. And if we look right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are good to go as far as the criteria. Now let's do the statistics on an ascending triangle. Again, this is going to be about 63% of the time this moves upward, 30% of the time it will break down. And so our probability is this is going to pump. Now the average pump after we break out is going to be 35%. That's what we're going to be using for our Bitcoin price prediction. I do want to warn you, there's a throwback rate. This is going to be the percentage of the time it will come back down and retest that resistance level. That happens 64% of the time. Let's get into the chart. So like I said, this is Bitcoin priced in ounces of gold. And right now you can get one Bitcoin for roughly 30 ounces of gold. And during the bear market, it would go as low as 10 ounces of gold per Bitcoin. So right now coming in at 30. Let's talk about this breakout. Let's talk about this percentage rise. We might rise 35% from this breakout area. Now, if we go ahead and pump 35%, this is pretty awesome. That is going to equal a nice psychologically round number of 50 ounces per gold. So I think this is a very, very fair assessment and a fair prediction. Not at all some moonshot hopium. I think it's a really good shot. One Bitcoin will be 50 ounces of gold. But the question is, well, what will an ounce of gold be, say over the next few months? Because if you look at the gold chart, this is the 3-day chart. Gold has gone absolutely parabolic. This thing has gone bananas. And people are saying this has to be the top because it keeps pumping. But let me tell you why it might not be the top. So the market cap for gold is exceedingly high. It is way above every single other equity. The market cap of gold is now $27 trillion, but Bitcoin's market cap is only $2 trillion. There's a huge upside potential here for Bitcoin. And we're also going to look at the silver chart as well, because like we said, $50 an ounce today, so very, very significant. But gold buying, I don't think gold is going to stop here at $4,000. If you look at the narratives, what is happening right now, there's record amounts of gold buying happening as we speak. China's central bank, for instance, just set a record with the 11th month of their buying streak. And there's a lot of prediction. This 11th-month buying streak is just a sign of things to come. So we're saying this relentless gold accumulation is going to keep prices in a decade-long uptrend. But now let's circle over to silver here. Silver, this is looking like a phenomenal chart. The thing I love about silver, this first peak all the way back in the 1970s. I really like to think there's someone who bought silver 50 years ago and they're celebrating today. Is this you? So if you've been holding silver for a long time, congrats, you're now in profit again. It feels good. Let's look at the silver Bitcoin chart here. Silver does look like it's about to start giving up some gains. Right now, when you get about 2,400 ounces of silver for every one Bitcoin, right now it's at a very important point of control. It does look like, we might be bouncing from this level. This acted as resistance back in 2021 and then got turned into resistance again back in 2024, but then has flipped into support as of March 2025. And it looks like we might be trying to use this as support one more time. So Bitcoin looks like it wants to bounce off silver. And if you look at Bitcoin compared to gold, it looks like it wants to bounce off gold. And it might be, going to roughly 50 ounces of gold. So I think there's a fair shot we see a $5,000 an ounce gold. If we have a $5,000 an ounce gold and one Bitcoin is worth 50 ounces of gold, it gives us a nice round number of $250,000 of Bitcoin. I want to give a quick shout out to L Bank Exchange. It is my favorite exchange to start trading all of the hottest meme coins and all of the latest altcoins. And over at L Bank, you can do spot trading or you can do futures, perpetuals trading, and we're going to have a link down below as well as a tutorial on the top of our YouTube page. There are tons of features here on L Bank. They have 24/7 customer support, tons of volume, millions of customers, and they're serving over 200 countries. So go ahead, open up an account, deposit some funds, and start your trading journey. There you go, folks. I know the precious metals, they're taking all of the fanfare. They're sucking all the oxygen out of the room. That can only last so long. If you look at some of these charts, it does look like there's a reckoning coming for these precious metals. Some of this capital is flowing back into Bitcoin. All you got to do is look at the market cap difference. 27 trillion, 2 trillion. I know where I think the upside is. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto. I'll see you with your Bitcoin or your precious metals at the top.